Hello, bachcho. How are you all? Today, I'm going to tell you the story again from the book Under the Banyan Tree and Other Stories by R K Narayan. I have already told you a story from this book, which is published by Indian Thought Publications, and I think the last story that we read out of it was 4 rupees. Do you remember that? Yeah, you do. So, today I'm going to tell another story out of this book, and it is quite interesting again. And the story is called At the Portal. So, here we go, right to the story. At the Portal. If I missed attending a certain committee meeting that evening, it was purely unintentional. No doubt, according to my promise to the convener, I set out for the meeting hall. The meeting was at 5:30 in the afternoon, but at 5:30 when I turned the university corner, I was held up by a couple of squirrels. One might legitimately ask how an adult could ever allow his plans to be diverted by a couple of squirrels, but I still think if there ever was an occasion for an adult to waive all other engagements, it was this. One was the mother, and the other a callow youth, 10 days old probably, on his second day's outing. The young squirrel had an excessively long, bushy tail out of all proportion to his short, tiny body, and moved about jerkily. They were going home, which was on the other side of the university wall, probably a niche in the veranda roof of the registrar's office. The squirrel home was to be reached through a decorative porthole in the wall at about a height of 2 feet. But the trouble was the youngster could not reach it, while the mother could jump right from the road on through the gap and pass through. The young one could not do anything more than run to the foot of the wall and look up. The mother hopped up and, presuming that she was being followed, jumped down on the other side and disappeared. The young one did no more than stand on his hind legs and paw the wall and speculate on the immensity of the fortress obstructing his passage. He stood poised, hoping for a miracle to happen and carry him onto the other side of the wall. This was a very unsquirrel like attitude to take in life. Presently, the mother returned, appearing on the ledge above him. Her tail fluttered lightly, and there was complete astonishment in her look. She looked down, paused for a moment, bit her lip, a truly Disneyan character, and now one could agree with Oscar Wilde when he said, "Nature imitates art." Well, she bit her lip and asked, "Still there?" The young one said, "I can't follow you. You climb so high and go off. I can't reach that place." "Oh," said the mother, completely surprised. She came down, delivered a couple of licks, murmuring, "Now, follow me. It is really not so high. Just a little effort and we will be home. Come on." And she sprang up on the ledge and went out of sight again. The little one made a futile attempt to imitate his mother, fell back, shook off the mud on his coat, and looked about to see who was watching. A slight annoyance came over him at this stage. Mother seemed to think everyone could run about as she did. The mother reappeared and said, "Not made up your mind to come home yet? It will be dark soon." She did not wish to exhibit the anxiety that was coming over her. The sun was about to set, and they had to get home soon. She came down, gave a pat and a stroke, and said cheerfully, "Take a deep breath like this. You need not hop up right from zero as I do. Though you will do it soon, take a dozen paces back, as I'm doing. The young one followed her instructions closely. And now, take it in a run and heave yourself up, as I'm doing. And soon the mother got out of view again. The young one followed all her instructions except to the extent of reaching the edge of the porthole. He scraped the lime, dropped back, and crouched beside the wall. He knew that his mother would come up presently with a fresh set of instructions. So, when his mother appeared above him, he was so sick of the whole business that he would not look up. His mother cried, "Do you want to stay out tonight?" The young one replied sullenly, without looking up, "I can't help it. I've got to be here, I suppose." The mother grew alarmed. Dusk was falling. An owl was hooting somewhere. Some unknown birds or bats were wheeling about, and the deadly crows were returning to their nests. Not a safe hour. The mother stood against the wall, stock still, till the enemies got out of range. The young one followed her example and stuck close to her. The mother gently pushed him away, saying, "This can't be a lasting solution. You have got to make an honest attempt. I know you can. See, it is so easy." She took a few steps back, took a run, hopped up, came back to the young one, and said, "See how easy it is? I know you can do it. It is not that you can't, only you lack self-confidence. Come on." And she demonstrated. "It is like this, not like this, not like this. See?" She went up and down a dozen times, and the young one attempted to follow her, but every time fell back. Now both of them lay still, panting. The mother bit him on the ear slightly. Her exertion seemed to have given an edge to her temper. "What has come over you?" she asked. The other said tearfully, "Don't leave me here, mother." "I don't want to, but we must not be here now." The young one made a few more attempts, and the mother repeated her demonstrations. It was very tiring. Finally, the mother said, "I can't be proud of you. At your age, we were—" Mother's presence brought back a little liveliness in the young one, and he scampered through unnecessarily, jumping about to no purpose. His attitude showed he was still not aware of the seriousness of their position. He did not realize that it was really a race with time. Darkness would be on them in a few moments, and they would not know their way about. The mother said, with real anxiety in her voice, "We ought not to be here any more. See those school youngsters returning from the playground? They will stone us. And there is a dog barking somewhere. This is a very unsafe world. We must go immediately." The mother again demonstrated, and the young one executed more or less a caricature of her. The mother's patience was at an end now. She appeared for the last time at the porthole and demanded, "Are you coming home or not?" The young one was in an irresponsible mood and said, "Not unless you carry me as you did that day." "That day is not this day," said mother. "If you were young enough to be rolled up and carried between my jaws, I wouldn't wait for your suggestion." "Then I can't jump up. I'm not coming," said the other one. "Idiot! You don't know what you're in for. Come along quietly. The whole world has retired. We alone are awake, and our enemies are about us. Come up quietly." "I can't, mother, don't you see?" The mother did not wait to hear the full sentence. She quietly turned round, jumped down on the other side, and vanished, pausing only for a split second to say, "After all, God is above. If you are destined to see the morrow, you will see it. That is all. What can I or anyone do for you?" The young one waited, anxiously, listening for the footfalls of his mother. Darkness came on. He felt nervous. He was genuinely frightened. He then made several attempts to reach the hole, practicing all the tips his mother had given, but it was no use. He was completely fatigued and lay still. Watching him, I felt here was an occasion for me to address an appeal to the university authorities to reduce the height of potholes on their compound walls. I really wished I could help him through. Presently, he did the wisest thing under the circumstances. He suddenly left off all effort, made a dash for the nearest avenue tree, and got onto it. From this height, he emitted a couple of calls for his mother, but that Spartan mother did not respond. I saw by my watch that this episode had gone for exactly an hour and a quarter. The convener of the meeting said when he saw me next, "You disappointed us again." Um, I really couldn't help this time. And then I used a very convenient phrase. I was busy unexpectedly. Well, so this was the story at the portal, and how beautifully R K Narayan describes the conversation between the squirrel mother and her young one, and the way the young one attempts to cross the wall through the porthole. Well, it's quite an interesting story, isn't it? All right, then. That's all for the story today, and I'll return back with a couple of more stories tomorrow. Till then, enjoy and bye bye.